Judge Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court confirmation hearings pick back up tomorrow morning, but we've already seen plenty of standout moments. Here's one from Democratic Senator Cory Booker.
I'm really glad that my colleagues who contracted COVID-19 at the Rose Garden super spreader event for Judge Barrett had access to the care that you and your families needed. That is right. This is a blessing. The problem is the people who will come through here today to wipe down the desks and empty the garbage, that will vacuum the floor, like people all over our country who are working today in factories, teaching children in schools. They don't have direct line to the nation's top health experts. They can't show up to work sick, and they might not have space to distance themselves at home to protect their families.
MSNBC chief legal correspondent Ari Melber joining us now from New York. Ari, thank you so much for being here. Cory Booker was the first person who really made my ears perk up today with that impassioned plea. Your thoughts on his remarks?
Yeah, that was striking because everyone knows the COVID battles, but he was putting it in a way that people can both understand. What about everyone else who doesn't have government level, presidential level health care, and a case that's going to literally hit the court a week after the election over whether the Obamacare system rises or falls. And so that affects people, and the Democrats used the opening day of this hearing to really hammer their argument that this nominee could be the final nail in the coffin for how millions of people get health care.
Did you think they did it effectively?
I think it's very hard. I think they did a decent job at message discipline. Instead of saying, well, here's 5 things, and there's also Roe v. Wade, and there's also corporate rights, and there's also free speech and campaigns, they really zeroed in on healthcare. So I think that time will tell in the coming days whether that gets through in a big way, because their target here is a bank shot. It's using legal proceeding, this hearing, to get voters to potentially put pressure on Republican senators.
How about Judge Amy Coney Barrett's opening statement? What grabbed you there, and just what was your overall impression?
She comes across as very solid. She's obviously brilliant and has had high positions at every stage of her career, from Supreme Court clerkship when you're young, which is very rare and difficult to get, to one of her Notre Dame professors, reportedly telling Justice Scalia, this is my best student ever, period, to the later stages of her career, to ultimately being on the federal bench. The ABA majority voted her well qualified, and you just saw that today. Someone who presents well, who's thoughtful, who's even and measured the way judges are, as compared to other things we watch in Washington, D.C. The fact that it was dry is generally, for a judicial nominee, a good thing. She wants to get through this, not grab everyone with some memorable phrase.
All right, questioning starts tomorrow. This looks like it's going to be a really long and much more heated day. What are you watching for, particularly from Judge Barrett tomorrow?
Well, we'll see more on health care, definitely, and that'll be in the Democratic line of questioning. I think we'll continue to see the Republican senators try to give Barrett some avenues to speak responsibly about precedent and whether or not she is going to ultimately uphold important cases. She wrote one article that I'm sure will come up tomorrow where she described basically what are the precedents you really don't overturn, super precedents, things that Americans, even in our divided time, would agree on, like, yes, there's equality across the races, not that you would go back and overrule an old case like Brown v. Board of Education. She famously did not put Roe v. Wade on that list. And so I think tomorrow, unlike today where there was one line of questioning and we discussed why that was coming from the opponents here, there may be more than one. And I think watch for her to really have to thread that needle. As an intelligent lawyer, she may do it well about, well, if you made a list of super cases and you didn't put Roe on it, that means people are expecting you to overrule Roe. Indeed, your own supporters and allies of the Trump White House say that's why they're putting you on the court, and expect her to do what we've seen other justices do, which is obviously there's nothing in it for them. They're not supposed to predict their own for future rulings, and certainly not in a way that could undermine their entire nomination.
All right, so today was the setup. We heard the opening statements. Tomorrow come the questions and probably a lot more fireworks. Ari, thanks for going through the first day for us and getting us set up to handle a long day tomorrow.
Great to be with you and your viewers. Thank you.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here. And click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.